In between these two living legends of Ugandan pool are three National Open Championships, a multitude of titles both in and out of the country, especially elsewhere on the continent. One of the greatest Ugandans ever to touch a cue stick, called Fahad Race, is taking on the best of the Ugandans who are playing pool today, Cesar Chandiga. The biggest game of this 32-man competition happening today here at Bulaga Pool Arena in the round of 16, and unfortunately for them, they are only racing to 4. Fahad Race 0, Cesar Chandiga 0. Live commentary proceeding shortly. We are live. Ivan Aganaga, you need it here. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, Fahad Race is a guy around age 26, a family man and a pool table technician, a very ultimate professional of the game of pool. He became a top player in the year 2010 when he joined the Uganda National Pool League with his then pool club called Chibanga, an understudy team of the then mighty Samona Pool Club. He played with that team for one season and helped them finish in 4th position. The following year, he joined the mighty Samona Pool Club at the age of just 15. He became of age in 2013. When he became 18, he qualified for the National Open Pool Championship Grand Finale for the first time. Remember, it's a tournament that is sponsored by a beverage company in Nile, and therefore you can only play in that competition when you are at least 18. He surprised everybody, including himself, after winning the qualifying round at Mokono Chisumariba. He then reached the semi-finals of that competition and lost out to the eventual winner, Jonah Turije. He came third in the event after winning the 3rd place match, and yet later that year he was seeded number 1. He became the youngest ever seed 1 that Uganda has ever had, a feat that also qualified him for the national team at a very young age. 3 years later, he came back and won the National Open Championship. Actually, 4 years later, in the year 2017, he became only the 2nd player in the history of Ugandan pool to win the National Open title more than once. It was his 2nd victory in the tournament, and the only other player who had achieved that feat is Jonah Turije, the guy also called Joka. Fahad also won the Polar Station of Uganda Easter Cup in the year 2013. From 2013 up to 2018, he was among the top 4 seeds of the Polar Station of Uganda. He is the only player ever to have achieved that. He also reached the semi-finals of the All Africa Pool Championships in the singles category when the tournament was organized 2015. Then 2016, when the tournament was organized on home soil, he was one of the players who represented his country to win the tournament, the team title for the first and only time in that event. Even in the singles, he was fourth among the top scorers. That is Fahad Race. He also won 4 league titles with his team Samona Pool Club. Right now he plays for Scrap Buyers Pool Club. He's taking on Cesar, who is now ranked first, the guy who has now packed a brand new Mark X outside the venue for the tournament. He won for his first and only time so far. It is the very first tournament that he has won under the Pole Association of Uganda. Right now ranked first, will definitely start as favorite to win not just this match but also this comp in general. Cesar, a proud winner of a multitude of pool competitions both locally and internationally. He became the first Ugandan ever to play semi-professional pool after actually during lockdown in the year 2020 when he was signed up by Zambian pool team Sharks Pool Club, and while in Zambia he won more than 20 weekly comps of this nature in the 1.5 years that he spent, and returned to the country in late 2022 and started in Uganda exactly where he had ended in Zambia. He has won over 25 comps in Uganda since that time, including the biggest of them all, the Uganda National Open Pool Championship, the car competition that is sponsored by Nile. He also won his first ever tournament outside Ugandan borders. Yes, the Queen's International Double Elimination Comp in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, December last year, when he defeated South Africa's Jeremiah Green Ganda in the final. Right now, he is slated to move outside the country to China to participate for the second time in the World Heibo Pool Championship, and should be leaving the country in late March. He, Cesar Chandiga, is leading 1-0 against Fahad Race. Welcome to the stream. My name is Peter Chol. And for those of you who are only now joining the stream, it is the second round of this ongoing comp of 32 men being organized here at Bulaga Pool Arena alongside Mitiana Road in Wakiso district in Uganda, where Fahad Race is taking on Cesar Chandiga, 2 of the greats of the Ugandan game. Much as he's still a young man, Fahad Race, he's one of those players that have been there and done that. And there is nothing that either Ugandan or African pool owes him. He has done everything. He's only helping out to serve the new generation of players, and also a very good technician of pool tables. It's something that he does as a business. He won the National Open Championship in 2014, won himself money, a car, sold that car, and bought a piece of land in Bulenga, just a short distance from where we are. And 3 years later, he won the second tournament for the second time. He again sold the car and used the money to buy a house in which he is living with his beautiful family. A wife is Sherry Chigozi, and a pair of beautiful children. The eldest of them is Katumba, nowadays in school. A very young man, however jolly. He's one of my youngest friends, by the way. Cesar Chandiga is a guy who will want to have none of that. When he is on the table, he's the guy who always wants to mean business. He's participating in a comp in Uganda for the first time in over 1 month. Having played very well, you remember those many matches when he had started the likes of Hazard twice and Mansour twice with +6, racing to 21 as he prepared to have a tour of South Africa. What a brave decision to have a tour in South Africa. He played about 8 matches there, and while he has been roasted in a way that I kind of think is a bit unfair, he, I think, lost only 2 against Ganda. He played in an 8-man comp and reached the final. Players deciding to share the money and not play the final. A wrong decision to be accepted by the organizers. That one can never happen in Uganda. He also won matches against Selo, against Tami, against Messi. Also important to note that he overcame Eden in the semi-finals of that 8-man comp. He's due to rematch with Ganda in Kampala in a little less than 2 weeks, when Ganda himself will have a tour of Uganda for the first time. This is Cesar, a guy who normally wows the crowd. I will tell you, they don't hate him, but here they don't support him. They support Fahad. He is a child of the area. That is why you may not always see him in tournaments, but when they are organized in his hometown, many a times you will see him participating. One frame has been played. Scores on the left for Fahad, scores on the right for Cesar, who is leading 1-0. It is a race to 4. Cesar is clearly taking the match serious. He knows that he's facing a formidable player in front of his home crowd.
Combination. Abako pulwa munyenyeza mutwe n'embuzi etemenkebwa.
Despite the very big profile Fahad has, he knows that once he misses opportunities to take Cesar down, Cesar will not hesitate to take away chances given to him the fans of Fahad are looking on in disbelief. About 200 of them gathered at this place, gathered around the table. There is another table also going on, another match is going on. This is one of the games that is taking us into the quarterfinals, I think. If we are to have race to 4 even in the quarterfinals, then we are likely to conclude this event in maximum 3 hours. Therefore, by 11 p.m. East African time, the tournament should be done. My expectation was not even to conclude this tournament today, but the fact that the organizers are deciding only to race to 4 for the first 3 rounds, they present us a chance to conclude this tournament today. This time Fahad breaks, but a dry break. Cesar is seemingly intending to close the table by potting the reds somehow. Has that red, which you can clearly pot in the corner pocket on the right of your screen. He also has a small matter of that red ball he's looking at, which is just in front of 2 of the yellows, making it not an easily finishable game. Whether on red or on yellows, he's deciding to use the yellow to try and pot red, and the attempt ends in failure. Table remains open for Fahad Sewankambo. On table now. From where I'm watching, there are a bit of network issues. You may need to inform me in the comment section if you are having them, where you are watching from. The issues are not only with me and the network, the issues are also with the way Fahad is playing pool. When you are up against a player of Cesar's level, you need to utilize all opportunities as they come your way. You do not have an opportunity to even blink.
Wagudde machupa.
I can see one of the guys who normally watch the game online while making a lot of noise in the comment section. That is IBK Mitiana, has moved all the way from Mitiana, about 70 kilometers on the same road, to come closer to the city to watch this comp and then drive back home. That is how passionate these guys are about the sport. Dorothy Nanyonga, Frank Kawoya, Lennon Mohan, Ronnie Wafula, Esther Motesi, Tumuhimbise Sadiq, Anthony Agesa, Clark Kaik. Thank you guys for watching. Today Betty Tabitha doesn't have data. Someone needs to share some data to her such that she comes to watch. I know she's supporting Fahad. The last time the two players faced off was the Easter Comp last year. It was organized in Matuga. That one was won by Cesar, but it's the closest in the recent past that I've seen Fahad come close to Cesar. In a race to 7, Fahad won. Sorry, Cesar